Hi, Nicholas here with AIBC World. Mikko Puhakka from Venture Drive is with us in the hot seat.
Glad to be here.
You've been from another hot seat. You've been at our startup competition, looking at potential unicorns. Anything out there?
There were a couple that were very interesting. I mean, they did show the right type of promise, I have to say. And something that I have to compliment, whether it was the preparation through Sigma or something, or AIBC, but it's very rare to see startups actually keeping their time slots. And they managed to do that. It's brilliant.
Even the other TV, like the Malta version of Dragon's Den, he said, overrun, too long, right? Thanks, an elevator pitch. You, the Venture Drive, you're very used to hearing elevator pitches. You involved with startups, assisting them along the way, involving potentially sometimes when you find the right one, you're even involved in the funding of, right?
Yeah, and actually, Venture Tribes is relatively new. That's only like a couple of years old. My background in investing and working with startups goes back, I hate to say this out loud, but it's about 30 years. So the first time I was working with startups was like mid-90s. Started as an advisory work with helping companies to raise money. Got some nice fees, some consulting fees, but then at some point, no one was willing to give us equity. So we were too young, too inexperienced. So we decided to set up a fund. So then I ended up setting up the first fund back in 99. So I've been kind of between working with investors or startups for quite a while.
You were just in time for the dot-com bust.
Yeah, I mean, I saw all of that, and those were fun times. I mean, everyone was a billionaire in 99, and everyone was poor as a dog in 2000. So. And I have to I remember one particular thing in April of 2000, just before everything went completely bust. Goldman Sachs issued a report saying that things are just about to turn for the better. Buy.
Right now, I guess there's a recession long overdue. How important is it for businesses and startups today to find a sustainable model, even through the good times and the bad?
I think that's the number one goal. I mean, people talk about aiming to be a unicorn, aiming to be this huge, super valuable company. It's much better to have a business that has a kind of a long-lasting business model with healthy principles. Then if your timing for the exit is good, I mean, then the valuation is either unicorn or it still could be decent, but at least have something to grow on. Now, it doesn't mean that you still stay small. You have to find ways of growing. So how to scale up the business to be big enough, a potential big exit for an investor.
And I guess a big problem is having a long runway. I guess is having the finance to get the long runway in order to last and to make it through and to lift off before they become that time sort of a revenue.
It's yes and no. Finances, I mean, if you take it on too early, the valuations are going to be lower, so you're going to be losing a lot of equity out. The companies that actually typically succeed better, they actually have traction, like one or two really key clients very, very early on that actually helped them through the first few years. Before the VC model stepped in some 50, 60 years ago in the Valley, the model for companies to get off the ground was to go and pitch to some very big customer and have them write the initial checks. And then right now we're kind of in the middle of that, so we have the VC funding, angel funding, family offices, but then we also have more pressure from them to return back to the older model, so get bigger clients on board earlier to prove that you're actually doing something right.
What can the clients, your potential clients, these startups, what can they change? What could they, in order to be more likely to be funded?
I have to say, and it keeps coming back to me like all the time. It's like they they don't prepare enough. I hate startups when they come to me and say that they have this unique offering. I mean, well, I love if they have a unique offering. And then you ask, well, who is your key competition? Oh, we really don't have any.
Left out the market research, the most
Yeah,
fundamental part of it.
then I spend 5 seconds in Google and I find 10. And they're like, what about these guys? Oh, but they're using a different platform. I was like, does the customer care? Well, they should. It doesn't matter. Who pays the bills? That matters.
What's your own personal favorite company out there? Startup, you love their story?
Currently, I mean, if you look at the bigger companies, which was kind of and then it relates to, funnily, like a lot of people don't know how it relates to Malta, is that is Bolt. So if you think about it, Uber had been on the market for quite a while. It had kind of done this car riding share thing. So then a young student out of Estonia, of all places, decides to kind of take on the huge, big US competition, basically with no resources. Starts it in Estonia. Second market they enter, Malta. And from there, the rest of, I mean, it's a huge company now.
I think Malta is one of those prime places, like a perfect place in order to try a new startup model. Just small enough, sustainable, but big enough to understand the market.
Well, what I like to say about kind of the combination of like, for instance, like Nordics and Malta, and Nordics and Southern Europe, they're kind of the edges of Europe. So where everything is super regulated up in the Nordics, and cold and dark, and so over here things are a bit different. So if you can manage to be in both places, then you're probably going to be okay in the rest of the Europe. Asia and US is then a different story.
It's really good advice. I hope we find some more success stories from Malta and with Venture Thrive, helping them, backing them, and making sure that they become a startup that has a big exit, right? It's making money. Thanks for being with AIBC. Nicholas, signing off.